So hello and welcome everyone to the Money Recovery webinar with BMP Systems, where we are going to be covering top 3 secrets to recover all your delayed payments at zero cost without going to court, fully on your own and against any company in India or world. बड़ी से बड़ी है, छोटी से छोटी कंपनी, all are covered. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि कंपनी कौन है, कहां से है, कितनी बड़ी कितनी छोटी है, right? So are you having flow and bad debt problems and do you want your customers to always pay you on time? Do you want to know what action needs to be taken to recover your dues, whether it's from a big company like Reliance or a PSU like Bhair or any big or small private player? Do you want to put strong measures in place to minimize non-payment or delayed payment by customers? So who all want all of these or any of these? Please type yes in the chat box. Please type yes in the chat box if you want all of these or any of these. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Tanuji, Usri ji, Parvati ji, Sunil ji, Atara ji, Rahul Parmar ji, Pradeep ji, Karthik ji, Mohit ji, Daniel ji, Mahesh ji, Mehul ji, Sukhin Shahi ji, Parth Doshi ji. Fantastic. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's let's type everybody's cities in the chat box so that I know that from which part of the country we have people today, and that you're able to listen to me properly and listen see the screen properly. Let's type everybody's city in the chat box. Hello, Sandeep ji from Maharashtra, Aman ji from Chennai, Parveen ji, Sunil ji from, oh my god, it's going very, very fast. Ramesh ji from Chennai, Karthik ji, Nagpur, Uttarakhand, Mumbai, Gurgaon, Chennai, Maharashtra. Fantastic. Great. So, okay. So, first of all, my sincere gratitude to you for being here today on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, evening. There were so many things that you could have done, but the fact that you chose to be here speaks volumes towards your commitment, towards your business, towards your future, and towards the financial future of your family. And in return, my promise to you is that by end of this session, you'll know all the methods by which you'll be able to start recovering your dues. That's my promise to you. This session will give you all the required knowledge that you need by which you'll be able to start recovering your dues. And it's going to be a very interactive session. I'll keep asking questions just the way I've asked till now. And as per a scientific study, in an online session, the more you interact, the more you learn. And it's also very important that you keep answering to my questions and you keep interacting, because we are sitting in different cities, different rooms, so we are not able to feel each other's energy, right? But this is the only way by we know that yes, you're understanding what I'm saying, and I'm able to convey to you what I want you to what I want to explain, right? So please keep interacting, and in return you may have many questions. So don't worry, आपके जितने भी questions होंगे, मेरी जिम्मेदारी कि मैं आपके सारे सवालों के जवाब दूं, और मैं आपके सारे सवालों के जवाब देकर यहाँ से जाऊंगा. If required, I'll extend the session to answer all your questions. But we'll take all the questions at the end of the webinar, so that we don't break the flow of the webinar in between, right? पर आपको वेट नहीं करने की जरूरत है क्वेश्चंस पूछने के लिए. देयर इज अ Q&A बॉक्स नेक्स्ट टू चैट बॉक्स. आप देखेंगे चैट बॉक्स के बगल में देयर इज अ Q&A बॉक्स. आपकी जब भी जो भी सवाल हो, इमीडिएटली आप इस Q&A बॉक्स में लिख दीजिएगा, सो दैट यू डोंट मिस ऑन दोस क्वेश्चंस. और मैं एट द एंड ऑफ द वेबिनार आई विल टेक ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. डोंट टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स. क्वेश्चंस को चैट बॉक्स पे टाइप मत करिएगा, क्योंकि अगर आप उस पे टाइप करेंगे तो ऊपर चला जाएगा ना, आई विल मिस इट, राइट? And it's going to be one of the most knowledgeable sessions on the money recovery provisions which you would have attended off late. So keep taking notes, because you never know which provision comes handy to you at which point of time, right? And as I said, it's going to be a very, very knowledgeable session. So please try and minimize all your distractions, at least for the next 90 minutes. Please attend fully. Please be with me here for the next 1.5 hours so that you don't miss anything. And अगर आप कुछ मिस कर गए और आप वो लिंक नहीं कर पाएंगे पहले और बाद की चीजों से, and as they say, half knowledge is more dangerous than zero knowledge, right? So please be with me here. If there's anything which you think can come up in the next 1.5 hours at least, so please just take care of it now, so that वो आपको बीच में ट्रबल ना करे, right? We are going to be following English language, हिंदी और इंग्लिश का मिक्सचर करेंगे, so that we are able to take along everybody, because as we saw that we have people from different parts of the country, so we need to take everyone along. तो अभी तक आपको मेरी बातें समझ में आई है, तो आगे भी आपको सारी समझ में आएगी, डोंट वरी. और अगर कुछ ऐसा है जो आपको नहीं समझ में आता, so just type it in the Q&A box and I'll answer your questions. Absolutely. Okay. So what are we going to cover today? So we are going to be covering the definition of MSME. What does MSME stands for? We are going to be covering top 3 secrets to recover all your delayed payments other than civil criminal proceedings. How do they work? We are going to be covering what you need to do now to recover your dues. What are those best practices by which you can start recovering your dues, by which you can do it yourself as well. And then we'll have the Q&A session at the end, as I said, and at the end, you'll get some free money recovery resources from our side. Okay. So let's get started. So, okay. So before we get started, do I have your permission to share a little bit about myself so that we have the connection going? Please type yes in the chat box. If I have your permission to share a little about myself, please type yes in the chat box. Yes, Mr. Venkatesanji. Happy to introduce. Thank you so much, everyone. I got some message that my voice is not clear. I hope my voice is clear to everybody because I'm getting a lot of yeses answer that. So I'm assuming that everybody is able to listen to me and hear me clearly. Thank you so much, everyone, for confirming that. Okay, so hello, everyone. I'm Vinay Kumar Jain. I'm an advocate on record Supreme Court of India and a solicitor. And I'm a qualified company secretary as well. I'm an author coach. And I happen to be one of the youngest qualified solicitors of solicitor of India. But before I came into this field, I actually come from an MSME family like you all, from a business family like you all. And my father had a rice plant. It was one of the top 3 rice plants of the city. It was doing very well. When I was a child, I had my own aspirations to join this business and grow it. But when I was in 11th and 12th, so I started overhearing my parents talking, my elders talking that, the business is not doing so well. And one day the business just got shut down. And what I understood from my parents talking is that it happened because my father and his partners, they had a lot of dues to be recovered from their customers in which they failed. And at the same time, they had a lot of money to be paid to the vendors in the banks and all that. And that's where the business just crashed. And it became so bad that at one point of time, he didn't even have enough money to pay for his household expenses, right? And when I cleared my 12th, so that he just told me that there's nothing for you. Whatever you have to do it on your own. So that's the time when I decided that I'm going to be doing something for the benefit of the MSME business owners like my father for MSME business families, so that no other family suffers the same fate again. And that's when I made it my mission MSME money recovery, that where I thought that I'll help the MSMEs in debt proper recovery. Then I went on to college and then studied and then worked with the top law firms of country and world, and then have started our own practice, and we have been awarded top 10 consultants of the country. And as part of Mission MSME Money Recovery, I've authored this book, Top 3 Secrets to Easily Grow Your Money and Deal Payments at Zero Cost. It's live on Amazon. And so that this knowledge can be spread to everybody, right? And I've also made this course, Money Recovery course, for all business owners and graduates, which comes at a price of 25,000. So it's like a one-stop shop for establishing your own world-class recovery system. Very simplified, all the detailed knowledge, all the checklist, everything, so that you yourself can just download it, copy it, and give your own details and start posting it, right? And they're also shortly coming up with artificial intelligence-based money recovery tool, and using these systems, we have helped more than 3,000 business owners in money recovery. In past 12 months itself, we have handled more than 284 recovery cases for approximately 525 crores for more than 110 clients. And our clients are spread over 36 cities across 22 states of India, and also in the Asian countries like China, whom they're helping in recovery of business during export dues. And we have helped clients across 27 different industries, ranging from logistics, construction, steel, manufacturing, government contractors, automobile, export, textile, engineering, healthcare, power, oil and petroleum, pharmaceuticals, mining, spice industry, education, and several manufacturing and service sector. Why I'm telling you all of this is because I want you to understand that the knowledge which we're going to be sharing with you today, it's not that it doesn't apply to your industry. You don't need to think that maybe the industry is all again. It applies to every industry, right? And that's what I want to understand. So, and we're processing claims of business dues, export dues from defaulting customers who are located across 24 states in India, right? So that's a little bit ourselves. So thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to share about ourselves, and let's get going. So what is first, let's see that what is MSME's contribution to Indian economy? What is actually your contribution to Indian economy? Because everybody of you sitting here is an MSME, which I'll just show you how, right? So MSME sector contributes to more than 11 crore plus jobs in the country. It contributes to 29% of India's GDP. It contributes to almost 45% of total exports from the country. So all these numbers, they make MSME sector as one of the biggest contributing sector in the economy, right? But despite being the biggest contributing sector, MSME sector has always been facing this constant problem of delayed payments, right? And so to find out the solution, the cause and the solution for this, there was this survey done by ET Magazine in November 2019, in which very interesting facts came out. So let's see what are those facts. So the first question was that who are your customer? So it came out that 46% of the customers of the MSME sector from the private sector companies, 10% from the government, and 7% from the MNCs. Okay. And then how long do your customers take to make payments? So it came out that 22% of the MSMEs, they're able to recover within 60 days. 10% said that we are able to recover within 45 days, only 10%, and whooping 44% MSME said that unpredictable. मतलब कि भगवान भरोसे, मतलब कि हमको नहीं पता कि पेमेंट कैसे आएगी, जब आ जाए तब अच्छी बात है, right? Then how many MSMEs wait for more than 90 days for payment recovery? 90 days से ऊपर कितने MSMEs wait कर रहे हैं? So almost one third to half of the MSMEs said that we have to wait for more than 90 days for payment recovery. Then how much MSMEs of write-off is bad debts? Very important question. कितना पैसा डूबत खाते में जा रहा है? So almost 60% of the companies, that means out of every 10 companies, 6 MSMEs said that we write off up to 5% of our annual turnover. And almost 17% said that we write off up to 20% of our annual turnover. So imagine 5 to 10% of the companies writing off around 60% of the companies writing off 5 to 10% of the annual turnover. So what happens then? So you don't feel the heat in 1 or 2 years, but the moment you do it continuously for 3 to 4 years, all of a sudden a lot of your capital gets wiped out, and you see the cash profits, but you don't actually have the you see the book profit, but you don't actually have the cash profits in hand, right? And because a lot of the capital is wiped out and you don't have the cash profits, so all of a sudden the business just shuts down, and we think that how it happened, suddenly you just shut down, it was doing so well. So it doesn't happen overnight. It happens like this over a period of time when bad debt starts piling up and you start losing your capital. And that's why it's very, very important to maximize the recovery and to minimize the bad debts. Okay. And then which customer segment gives you the toughest time to recover your dues? So of all the toughest customers, it came out that 42% of all the defaulting customers, it came out that 42% of those big private sector companies, 24% are those large government PSUs and big government departments, and 21% are those large MNCs, multinational corporations. So 42 plus 24 plus 21, 86 to 87% of the defaulting customers are who? They are those big government companies, large government PSUs, big MNCs who have deep pockets, who have dominant position, and who misuse their dominant position to arm twist the MSMEs. By not paying you on time, by delaying your payments, by making you short payment, by giving you credit note, adjustment note, and so on and so forth, but not paying your time. And they know that there's nothing that MSMEs can do against us. Why? Because they know that MSMEs don't have the knowledge, they don't have the resources, they don't have the money, they don't have the expertise that they can fight against us, and we'll keep doing whatever we intend to do. Right? So I'd like to ask all of you, how many of you face this problem of delayed payments primarily from your bigger customers? Please type yes in the chat box. If you also face delayed payments primarily from your bigger customers. Thank you so much, Amanji. Okay, speech is going fast, so I'll try to be a little slow. Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Swapnil ji, Arun ji, Rahul ji, Chaya ji, Shyam ji, Amit ji, Daniel ji, Tarun ji, Sandeep ji, Desarathi, Raju ji, Vedhi ji, Raghu Raman ji, Mohammed ji. Okay, fantastic. So many people. So it's not with you only, but that's the scene across the whole country. MSMEs across the whole country, they're facing this problem of delayed payments. Primarily from the bigger customers, but the knowledge which I'm going to be sharing with you today, it's applicable for everybody, big, small, और ये आज तक थी, अब आज के बाद ये problem खत्म हो जाएगी. You'll not have this problem again from this point onwards. Okay, so let's get started, and let's first see what is the definition of MSME. What does MSME stands for? Okay, हम बहुत MSME से भी बात करते हैं, उसकी definition क्या है वो देखते हैं. So MSME stands for micro, small, medium enterprises, and it's the definition is given under the MSMED Act 2006. Which is Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Development Act 2006. It's a very special and powerful act passed by Parliament of India for the benefit of MSMEs, and it has some very, very strong provisions for the benefit of MSMEs, and there's a whole dedicated chapter for the money recovery provisions. Okay, we'll see those provisions also, but first we'll see its definition. जो इसमें थी, so there was this old definition which was there since 2006 और July 2020 तक चली आ रही थी, and this new definition जो उसके बाद से applicable है. So we'll see the old definition, we'll see the new definition, and we'll also see कि why it got changed. Okay. So under the old definition, there was only one criteria to find out whether you're an MSME or not. Okay, and that was an investment in plant and machinery or equipment. And there were two different classifications, manufacturing and service categories. There are two different categories. So if you're a manufacturing enterprise and if your turnover is investment in plant and machinery is less than 25 lakhs, then you are a micro enterprise. If your investment in plant and machinery was less than 5 crores, then you are a small enterprise. Okay. Similarly, if your investment in plant and machinery was less than 10 crores, then you are a medium enterprise. Similarly, if you're in service sector and if your investment in plant and machinery equipment was less than 10 lakhs, then you are a micro enterprise. If it was less than 2 crores, then you're a small enterprise. And if it was less than 5 crores, then you're a medium enterprise. Now, this definition was going on since 2006, and a lot of times the industry was demanding that please change this definition because a lot of water has flowed down since 2006, and today service sector contributes equal rather more to the GDP of the country. And the authorities were also saying that please change the definition because we don't have the updated data, the right data. But as usual, the government was not listening to it. But then came COVID, and COVID आने के बाद we all know our Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji. She came up with a package of rupees 25,000 crores for the benefit of MSMEs. और जब वो package आया, so a challenge which they faced, the government faced, that how do they ensure that this money flows down to the right beneficiaries? And then they realized the need and importance to change this definition, and then they changed the definition and they got a new one, right? So another new definition, there was composite criteria. So in addition to investment, another criteria was introduced, investment and annual turnover. So it's now composite criteria. Both have been introduced. Okay, so it's and. So when I say it's all, it's going to be Hindi wala, because both needs to be satisfied. Okay, and the classification, the difference between manufacturing and service was removed. Both have been put on the same footing. Okay, so let's see the new definition. So if your investment is less than 1 crore and your turnover is less than 5 crores, then you are a micro enterprise. Similarly, if your investment is less than 10 crores and your turnover is less than 50 crores, then you are a small enterprise. Similarly, if your investment is less than 50 crores and your turnover is less than 250 crores, then you are a medium enterprise, right? Now, what has happened? In one stroke, Government of India has brought 99% companies of India under the MSME Act, right? That means 99% of companies of India are having the investment less than 50 crores and their turnover less than 250 crores. And out of that 99%, 99% of the companies are micro and small enterprises. That means almost 98% of companies of India, they are having their turnover less than 10 crores and investment less than 10 crores and turnover less than 50 crores, right? That is why there has never been a better time in the history of independent India for you to understand the provisions which are extremely beneficial for the MSMEs and which the government has made for you, and take the maximum advantage out of it. Okay. Now let's see who all have got this definition right. So please type M if you're micro, S if you're small, and MED if you're medium. Let's see who all have got this right. Please type M if you're micro, S if you're small, and MED if you're medium. S medium medium, S M S medium, S M micro, small medium micro, small micro, medium. Fantastic. So we are getting mixed answers, but majorly, as we can see, they're micro and small, and we have got some medium enterprise as well. Okay, fantastic. So I'm glad that everybody's got a definition right. So now we can get going and get started. Okay. So now let's move to the top 3 secret methods for recovery of delayed payments, which you can use to recover against any company in India or world at zero cost, fully on your own, without going to civil criminal courts. Okay. So the first secret method is the MSMED Act 2006. इसकी कुछ बहुत important provisions हैं, कुछ बहुत powerful provisions हैं, which are applicable for the MSMEs. Okay, and ये जो first secret method है, these are today, as of today, they're applicable to micro and small enterprises only. They're not applicable to medium enterprises as of today. But you never know, government can bring this in near future for medium also, then it will be applicable for you. So I'll request everyone to understand these provisions very, very clearly. Even if you're medium, then also you should understand all of these provisions. Of course, we'll have many other methods, many of the provisions which are going to be applicable for everybody, for medium as well. But this particular first secret method is, as of today, is applicable for micro and small enterprises. So MSMED Act 2006, इसमें section 15 से 24 है, which is a dedicated chapter given for the benefit of the MSMEs. उसमें सारे money recovery की provisions हैं. Okay, so we'll see all of these sections one by one. So section 15, it says that if you are a micro small enterprise, then it is the liability of your buyer to make payment to you within 45 days. ये act में दिया हुआ है कि अगर आप माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज है, then irrespective of the fact that who's the buyer, who's the opposite party, and what is your contract, आपकी contract में क्या है उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Your buyer has to compulsorily make the payment to you within 45 days. 45 means 45. So let me take to the BEAR Act. Let me take you to the BEAR Act so that आपकी concepts clear हो. क्योंकि आज आप यहाँ हैं तो ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी है कि मैं आपकी concepts को clear करूँ. And there is no better way than reading the BEAR Act to understand and clarify your concepts. Okay. So ये है माइक्रो स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइज डेवलपमेंट एक्ट 2006. इसमें हमने कहा सेक्शन 15, अब सेक्शन 15 पे आ जाते हैं। This is section 15. This is given in chapter 5, delayed payment to micro small enterprise, and the heading is liability of buyer to make payments. Okay, so let's read this together. Where any supplier supplies any goods or renders any services to any buyer, the buyer shall make payment therefore on or before the date agreed upon between him and the supplier in writing, or where there is no agreement in this behalf, before the appointed day, provided that in no case the period agreed upon between the supplier and the buyer in writing shall exceed 45 days. मतलब 45 days से ऊपर तो आप पीरियड रख ही नहीं सकते, उससे कम ही होना चाहिए from the day of acceptance or a day of deemed acceptance. Now what is this day of deemed acceptance? Sounds new, right? So let's go back to our right? Presentation, and so deemed of acceptance that has been defined in section 2B, जिसमें ये बोला गया है कि अगर आपके बायर ने कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं लिया within 15 days of receipt of goods or services, that's a deemed acceptance, right? So if no objection has been taken by the buyer within 15 days of receipt of goods or services, it's a deemed acceptance. So far so good. How does it help energy? So let me ask you a question to help you understand this better. So how many of you face this problem कि एक बार आपने कोई गुड्स और सर्विसेज की सप्लाई की और उसके बाद जब भी आप उसका पेमेंट मांगने जाते हैं आफ्टर 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, only then your buyer wakes up and he takes one or the other false excuse that oh no, अभी तो वो गुड्स पूरे नहीं आए हैं, अभी तो वो सर्विस पूरी नहीं हुई है, अभी तो वो डिफेक्ट था, वो ये प्रॉब्लम थी, ये था, वो था, one or the other false excuse just to delay your payment and not to make the payment to you on time. So please type yes in the chat box if you face this problem. Please type yes in the chat box if you face this problem. Thank you so much, Manish ji, Nasrati ji, Sagar ji, Priya ji, Daniel ji. Oh, there's so many people facing this problem. Okay, चलो. So let me again take you back to the BEAR Act approach because इतने लोगों को ये problem है, तो ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी कि आपके concepts एकदम clear हो जाए. तो let me again take you back to the BEAR Act. So ये है section 2. B उसका हमने देखा, उसका second explanation में the day of deemed acceptance. So let's read this together. So the day of deemed acceptance means where no objection is made in writing. मतलब objection देना है तो writing में देना है, फोन पे नहीं चलेगा, writing पे चलेगा, email, WhatsApp चल सकता है. By the buyer regarding acceptance of goods or services within 15 days or within 15 days देना है. Okay, तो objection देना है, within 15 days देना है. From the day of the delivery of goods or the rendering of the services, the day of actual delivery of goods or the rendering of services. मतलब कि अगर आपके buyer ने आपकी सप्लाई करने के बाद 15 डेज के अंदर कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं लिया कि ये सही है या गलत है या ये प्रॉब्लम है या वो डिफेक्ट है, तो 15 डेज के बाद वो डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस हो जाता है. उसके बाद वो ऑब्जेक्शन ले ही नहीं सकता. ही कैन नॉट से कि ये प्रॉब्लम था, वो प्रॉब्लम था. इट्स अ डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस. So next time, whenever you go to your buyer asking for payment and he takes one of the other false excuse कि boss ये नहीं था, वो नहीं था, तो tell him that look, I am a registered micro small enterprise supplier. So being a good supplier, तो आप तो उसको remove कर देंगे, right? But you can tell him that look, I am a registered micro small enterprise supplier, and as per the law passed by Parliament of India, अगर आपको objection लेना है ना, तो जरूर लीजिएगा, और next time से 15 days के अंदर लीजिएगा, मुझे writing में भेज दीजिएगा, so I'll remove it. But अगर आप 15 days में नहीं भेजते हैं मुझको writing में, so it will be a deemed acceptance, और मैं कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगा उसके बाद. So अगली बार से क्या होगा, whenever then you go again asking for payment, so he'll know that he should have taken the objection within 15 days and writing, and क्योंकि वो सारे false excuse होते हैं, तो उसके पास कोई बहाने नहीं होंगे to delay your payment, and you will start recovering your payments much faster. तो जो अभी आपकी recovery cycle 45 69, it will come down to 15, 13, 45 days, and it will drastically improve your working capital. If your working capital improves, your turnover will rise automatically, and if your turnover rises, your profits will automatically increase. So even if you don't take anything else from this webinar, but just this one thing, of course there are many other important things that we're going to be covering, but even if you just take one thing and implement this, it's going to be doing wonders for your business. Okay, so that was the concept of deemed acceptance. Next, government ने बोला कि 45 days में पेमेंट करना था, नहीं किया, तो फिर जो बायर है आपका, he will have to pay you compound interest at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate notified by RBI. Now what is bank rate? Bank rate is the rate at which RBI lends to the government, different banks. Okay, that varies from 4.5 to 6%. उसका 3 times मतलब 15 to 18% is the bank rate. Okay, और this is irrespective of any provisions of your contract. आपके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या है, इंटरेस्ट है कि नहीं है, है तो 4% है कि 5% है, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. He has to pay you at 15 to 18% of compound interest as per the law passed by Parliament of India, because it overrides all the provisions of your contract, and there is no other option, right? It's a mandate which is given by the Parliament of India, and he has to pay you. Then section 18 कि 45 days पेमेंट नहीं किया, इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं दिया, तो फिर क्या? तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर द माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइजेस कि वो बार बार जाएं और सिविल कोर्ट्स वगैरह जाएं रिकवरी के लिए, क्योंकि इट्स वेरी टाइम कंज्यूमिंग एंड इट्स वेरी वेरी कॉस्टली. सो इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर द माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइजेस की अफोर्ड कर सके, इसमें रिकवरी कर सके. तो वी आर मेकिंग अ वेरी स्पेशल बॉडी for the benefit of the micro small enterprise, which is called MSCFC. That's Micro Small Enterprise Facilitation Council. और यही जो होगी बॉडी, ये हर एक स्टेट में बना दे रहे हैं, और इसके पास वो जाएंगे माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज, और यही कंसिलिएशन आर्बिट्रेशन करके ऑर्डर पास कर देगी फॉर ऑल डायरेक्ट पेमेंट्स, एंड दैट विल बी फाइनल, एंड दैट विल बी इक्विवेलेंट टू अ सिविल कोर्ट डिक्री. तो एमएसएमई काउंसिल का ऑर्डर इज इक्विवेलेंट टू सिविल कोर्ट डिक्री, जिसको कि आप सिक्योर्ड ड्यूज की तरह रिकवर कर सकते हैं, गवर्नमेंट ड्यूज की तरह फिर आप रिकवर कर सकते हैं, एग्जीक्यूशन करा सकते हैं, राइट? And today, MSME Council has been established in all parts of the country. Every state has a dedicated MSME Council. It's not a full-time body here; it's still a part-time body, but it's coming up very well, right? And जो उसके हर स्टेट के डायरेक्टर ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज होते हैं, वो उसके चेयरमैन होते हैं, और अदर सीनियर गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स जिनमें उसके मेंबर्स होते हैं. देन सेक्शन 19 कि अगर एमएसएमई काउंसिल ने कोई ऑर्डर पास कर दिया, आपके फेवर में किया और आपके बायर के अगेंस्ट किया, और आपके बायर को उसकी अपील करनी है, देन यू हैव टू कंपल्सरीली डिपॉजिट 75% ऑफ द ऑर्डर्ड अमाउंट. वो तभी उसकी अपील कर सकता है, उसके बगैर वो अपील कर ही नहीं सकता, राइट? और इसकी अपील जाती है सिविल कोर्ट में, राइट? और वो 5-6 साल लंबी हो जाती है, और अगर वो 5-6 साल के बाद हार गया, तो उसको फिर इस 5-6 साल का भी कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट लग जाएगा, right? So let me give you an example to help you understand this properly. So suppose ये assume करते हैं कि भाई आपके पास 1 करोड़ की का आपके डिफॉल्ट पेमेंट था आपके कस्टमर का, उसने डिफॉल्ट कर दिया. 1 साल बाद एमएसएमई काउंसिल के पास गए, और 1 साल बाद आपके पास ऑर्डर आ गया कि हाँ भाई 1 करोड़ रुपया आपको मिलना चाहिए, और 30 लाख कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट आपके फेवर में अवार्ड कर दिया उन्होंने, राइट? अब टोटल आपका कितना हो गया अवार्ड अमाउंट? 1 crore 30 lakhs. ये बॉन्ड. नाउ if your buyer he has to file an appeal against this, he'll have to deposit 75% of this 1 crore 30 lakhs, which is like 1 crore itself, and it'll go to civil court. And it'll go on for 4-5 years. If he loses, then again he'll have to pay component interest for 4-5 years. That's why a lot of companies and buyers, they come running to you rather than filing an appeal, say that कि ऐसे भी तो पैसे देने ही है, तो बॉस ये आप प्रिंसिपल ले लो, and please lay off the interest, and let's do business together. So I'd like to ask all of you, suppose if you are in this case, and if you're offered कि take this 1 crore and please waive this 30 lakhs of interest and let's do business together in future, then will you settle or not? Please type yes if you'll settle. Please type yes if you'll settle. Suddenly yes, couple of no's, yes. Majorly yeses, few no's, but in our opinion also, settling is the best thing to do, because business owner का काम क्या है? To do business together, right? And अभी तक क्या था? अभी तक तो 1 करोड़ भी नहीं थे, प्रिंसिपल भी नहीं था. अभी आपके उस प्रिंसिपल तो और है, and he's promising you to do business together in future, and there's nothing better than that, right? So it's always good to settle, take the money which you're getting at that point of time and move on. Also, because why? Because situations change overnight, right? आज उसके पास कैपेसिटी है पे करने की, कल उसकी सिचुएशन क्या रहेगी, you never know. And that's why it's always good to accept whatever payment you're getting and immediately move on, right? So that's section 19. Then we have next section, section 22, which says that कि अगर कोई buyer है, तो उसने जितने भी माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज से कोई गुड्स सर्विसेज ली है और उनको 45 डेज के अंदर पेमेंट नहीं किया है, तो that buyer has to compulsorily show all those pending dues in their accounts. उनके अपने ऑडिट अकाउंट्स में दिखाना जरूरी है, right? And to enforce this, notifications dated 2nd November 18 and 22nd January 19, they have also been issued by the MSME Ministry and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay, so far so good, Vinay ji. How does it help? So let me ask you as a question to help you understand this better. आप में से कितने लोगों को ये प्रॉब्लम है कि आपके ड्यूज है which are older than 3 years and you have lost complete hope on it? आपने होप ही छोड़ दी कि अब वो रिकवर होगा. So just type 3 in the chat box, 3 digit in the chat box. If you have dues which are older than like this, if you have dues older than 3 years, you lost complete hope. Okay, thank you, Pareen ji, Sonu ji, Venkateshan ji, Mohammed ji, Anil ji, Abhishek ji, Amit ji, Arun ji, Manish ji, Sunil ji. Oh, so many people again. So let me again take you back to the direct approach. इतने लोगों को ये प्रॉब्लम है सो ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी कि मैं आप सब लोग के कॉन्सेप्ट्स को क्लियर करूं। तो ये है वो एमएसएमई मिनिस्ट्री का नोटिफिकेशन, राइट, dated 2nd November 18. Let's read this together. In exercise of powers conferred by Section 9 of the MSME Act, the central government directs that all companies who get supplies of goods or services from micro and small enterprises and whose payments to micro and small enterprises supplies exceed 45 days, मतलब 45 days से exceed होता है, from the date of acceptance or date of written acceptance of goods or services as per the provisions of the Act, shall submit a half-yearly return. इनको half-yearly return देना है to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs stating the following: the amount of payment due and the reasons for delay. ये उनको देना जरूरी है। ओके, एंड देन ये मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स ने भी डाल दिया, हिंदी को छोड़ देते इंग्लिश में आ जाते हैं। सो दैट्स द नोटिफिकेशन डेटेड 22 जनवरी 19 एंड द सेम थिंग कि जिसने माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज से सप्लाई ली और 45 डेज के अंदर पेमेंट नहीं किया तो उनको एक हाफ ईयरली रिटर्न देना है stating the following: the amount of payment due and the reasons for delay. Okay, फिर इसको इन्फोर्स करने एमएसएमई फॉर्म 1 भी बना दिया, ये वाला फॉर्म है जो भरना है, राइट। और बेसिक डिटेल्स के बाद उन्होंने बोला कि इनिशियल रिटर्न ऑफ द आउटस्टैंडिंग ड्यूज कितने हैं माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज के, टोटल आउटस्टैंडिंग अमाउंट कितना है एज ऑन द डेट ऑफ नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ दिस ऑर्डर। तो ये डेट क्या है, एज बी सॉ 22 जनवरी 19। तो इस दिन तक जब वो पहली बार फॉर्म भरे हैं तो इस दिन तक जितने भी ड्यूज थे वो 13-14 के हो, 14-15 के हो या 15-16 के हो, ये 17-18 के हो, इस डेट तक सारे के सारे ड्यूज उनको यहाँ पर डिक्लेयर करने थे। और फिर आगे उनको ये भी बताना था डिफरेंट पर्टिकुलर्स कि किस फाइनेंशियल ईयर का है, सप्लायर कौन है, पैन क्या है, कितना अमाउंट ड्यू है और किस डेट से ड्यू है। ओके, और फिर यही रेगुलर बेसिस पे उनको बताना था अप्रैल टू सितंबर के लिए भी सेम डिटेल्स अगेन, और फिर अक्टूबर से मार्च के लिए भी सेम डिटेल्स अगेन। ओके, और फिर उनको बताना कि रीजंस क्या है ये जो डिले हुआ उसका, राइट। एंड द बेस्ट थिंग दे हैव डन इज दैट दे हैव गिवन अ नोट that attention is drawn to provisions of subsection 4 of section 405 of Companies Act which provide for punishment for any information statistics which is incorrect or incomplete in any matter respect। मतलब कि अगर कोई कंपनी कोई जानकारी पूरी नहीं देती है या गलत देती है या इनकम्प्लीट देती है तो उसको गवर्नमेंट ने क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस बना दिया फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द एमएसएमईज। सो फार सो गुड विनय जी, हाउ डज इट हेल्प? सो रिसेंटली ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक जजमेंट है जस्टिस रनिमन साहब का इन द एसेट रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी की अगर कोई कंपनी कोई ड्यूज को अपने ऑडिट अकाउंट्स में दिखा रही है या किसी स्टैट्यूटरी फॉर्म में दिखा रही है तो उसके अगेंस्ट जो 3 साल का लिमिटेशन पीरियड है रिकवरी का वो फिर से वापस चालू हो जाएगा। जिस दिन भी उसने दिखाया उसकी फिर से वापस चालू हो जाएगा वहां से उस डेट से। और लॉ ये है कि जब तक वो पेमेंट नहीं करेंगे उनको तब तक इसको दिखाना पड़ेगा आप अपने ऑडिट अकाउंट्स में या इन फॉर्म्स में। तो जब जब वो दिखाएंगे तब तब वो 3 साल का लिमिटेशन पीरियड वापस चालू होता जाएगा, राइट। सो all that you have to do is that you have to go and check the audit accounts of a buyer। अगर दिखाए तो ठीक है, तो वैसे ही फॉर्म चेक कर, दिखाए तो ठीक है, वहां से लिमिटेशन वापस स्टार्ट हो गया। नहीं दिखाया तो you can file a complaint against the your customer and also against each statutory auditor कि उन्होंने ये compliance नहीं किया provisions, right? So everybody who said that yes we have dues older than 3 years and we have lost complete hope on it, how to recover, are you now able to see a ray of hope? Please type H for hope in the chat box. Please type H if you are able to see a ray of hope. संदीप जी, अमित जी, अनिल जी, राहुल जी, छाया जी, दत्तराज जी, फैंटास्टिक। मोहम्मद जी, स्वप्निल जी, वैधी जी, बहुत बढ़िया। कुमार जी, thank you so much. Let's get moving. We have a lot to cover. Then we have section 23. So this is like छोटा बम बड़ा धमाका. So section 23 says that कि अगर किसी बायर ने किसी माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज को इंटरेस्ट दिया है क्योंकि उसने डिले से पेमेंट किया माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज को, तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि जो उस इंटरेस्ट का बेनिफिट होता है इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में डिडक्शन जो होता है दैट विल बी नॉट बी अलाउड इन इनकम टैक्स एक्ट। तो क्या मतलब हुआ? So let's again go back to that same method which we have same example। 1 करोड़ आपके ड्यूज थे, 30 लाख आपके फेवर में इंटरेस्ट अवार्ड हुआ और 1 सेकंड के लिए अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि आपको 1 करोड़ 30 लाख मिल गए, 1 करोड़ प्रिंसिपल मिल गया और 30 लाख इंटरेस्ट मिल गया। अज्यूम कर लेते हैं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ, राइट। मेरी बात नहीं मतलब कि विनय जी ने बोला था मिल गया तो मिलना ही चाहिए, मैं सिर्फ बोल रहा हूँ मान लीजिए 1 मिनट के लिए कि आपको 1 करोड़ 30 लाख मिल गए। तो गवर्नमेंट ने ये बोला कि ये जो 30 लाख रुपए इंटरेस्ट आपको मिले, आपकी बायर ने आपको दिए, तो वो बायर जो है जनरली उस 30 लाख को अपने इनकम टैक्स में डिडक्शन की तरह क्लेम कर लेता है, करेक्ट। और उसको उस पर 30% का डिडक्शन मिल जाता है, करीबन उसके 30 लाख पे 10 लाख रुपए इनकम टैक्स बन जाते हैं अप्रोक्सीमेटली। वो गवर्नमेंट ने डिसअलाउ कर दिया। कि वो पूरे 30 लाख पे आपको इंटरेस्ट भरना पड़ेगा, ये 10 लाख आपको बेनिफिट हम देंगे नहीं, बिकॉज आपने एक माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज की पेमेंट को डिले किया एंड यू नॉट बी एंटाइटल्ड टू द डिडक्शन अंडर इनकम टैक्स एक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट. Now that's a huge provision, especially with big companies, especially in the cases when the interest amount is in crores of rupees. Because कुछ भी चीज इनकम टैक्स वगैरह से रिलेटेड आती है, वो सीधा टॉप लेवल में जाती है, सीओ एंड सीएफओस के पास, एंड पीपल कैन लूज देयर जॉब्स, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दे टेक दिस वेरी वेरी सीरियसली, एंड दे इमीडिएटली सेटल, क्योंकि उनको प्रोविजंस पता होते हैं, राइट. देन सेक्शन 24 finally which says that all of these provisions, they have an overriding effect on all your contracts. So let's do a quick recap. So section 15 ये बोलता है कि liability of buyer to make payment within 45 days. ये एक्ट में दिया हुआ है, 45 means 45. आपके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कुछ भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Deemed of acceptance 15 days में अगर ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं दिया राइटिंग में तो deemed acceptance है. इंटरेस्ट देना है मतलब देना है, 3 times of the compound rate, compound interest, 3 times of the maximum notified by RBI. आपकी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कुछ भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सेक्शन 18 एमएसएमई काउंसिल के पास चलेगा तो एमएसएमई काउंसिल ही वो केस सुनेगा, इररिस्पेक्टिव कि आपके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या प्रोविजंस है. कोई बॉम्बे की सिविल कोर्ट सुनेगी, दिल्ली की सिविल कोर्ट सुनेगी, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. एमएसएमई काउंसिल के पास आप चले गए तो वही एमएसएमई काउंसिल ही सुनेगा और कोई सुन नहीं सकता. ऑल द प्रोविजंस बिकम नल एंड वॉइड. सेक्शन 19 अपील. अपील करनी 70% डिपॉजिट करना है मतलब करना है. कंपल्सरी डिपॉजिट मेंशनिंग ऑफ ड्यूज एंड ऑर्डर अकाउंट्स दिखाना है मतलब दिखाना है, कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. सो ऑल ऑफ दिस इंटरेस्ट कलेक्शन नहीं मिलेगा मतलब नहीं मिलेगा. So all of these provisions, they have an overriding effect. So go back, take out all of your contracts. अगर ये provisions नहीं है तो भी आप इनको execute कर सकते हैं, and अगर नहीं है तो future में इन provisions को अपने contract में लाइए, right? ताकि you are able to implement this and you are able to recover your dues faster, right? So are you finding these provisions to be useful? Please type you in the chat box if you're finding these provisions to be useful. Sure, Mr. Veluji, we'll continue in English. Thank you so much. Extremely useful, Moji. Thank you so much. Fantastic. But my next question is, पर क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Please type yes अगर पता था, please type no अगर नहीं पता. But why you know? No. Okay. So can you see problem ये नहीं है कि delayed payments है. Problem ये है कि किसी ने बताया नहीं है एमएसएमईज को कि ऐसे रिकवरी की जाती है ये प्रोविजन से. Lack of awareness because nobody has told you about all of these, right? So I'm showing you a few case studies here. ये वो cases हैं जिसमें कि जो सारे provisions में देखे, these provisions have been challenged time and again by the big companies, big MNCs, big government departments on the grounds that these provisions are absolutely illegal, unconstitutional, unequal, invalid because they are fully in favor of the MSMEs और हमारे फेवर में है ही नहीं, तो ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. जैसे सेक्शन 18 कि एमएसएमई काउंसिल के पास लेके तो वही केस सुनेगा, बाकी और कोई जो हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में जिस कोर्ट को दिया वो सुन नहीं पाएगा, राइट? ऐसा क्यों? सेक्शन 19 75% नौकरी जमा करना है, एमएसएमई क्यों नहीं जमा करेगी? देन इंटरेस्ट का प्रोविजन चैलेंज चाहिए कि हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में तो 6% का सिंपल इंटरेस्ट है, क्यों हम 17-18% का कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट देंगे? लाइक ऑल ऑफ दीस प्रोविजंस हैव बीन चैलेंज्ड टाइम एंड अगेन बिफोर डिफरेंट ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट्स एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट. बट द गुड पार्ट इज दैट एवरी टाइम दे हैव बीन चैलेंज्ड, देन एवरी टाइम ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट दे हैव सेड that all of these provisions are absolutely legal, equal, constitutional and valid. Why? Because MSME is a very special type of entity, and to protect them, Parliament has framed MSMED Act, which is a very special type of act. Because MSMEs, they cannot survive without doing business with big companies like you. You big companies, you cannot run your business without doing business with MSMEs, right? But if you have to pay them on time and do business right, no problem. But if you don't pay them, then they'll cease to exist. And if you want to pay them on time and do business, then what is your worry, right? So don't worry. For these provisions is not something, even if you don't know, I can understand, but these provisions are not something that has come overnight. They have been here, they have withstood the scrutiny of the highest courts of the land, and they've been here for the last 17 years, right? And that's what makes them very, very strong. And thousands of MSMEs are getting benefited by this. So I'll do a quick sharing of one Mr. Rajan Khimsaria. He's also an MSME business owner like you all. He's from Bombay. That how we helped him to recover using these provisions. I want you to hear these people so that you get this belief that if it works for them, it will work for you also. So let's listen to Mr. Rajan Khimsaria from Bombay.
Hello, I am Rajendra Khimsaria, founder director at Khimsaria Associates Private Limited, Mumbai. We are into sales and marketing of pharmaceutical and packaging machinery. We were having a problem of recovery of a large amount of money from one of our principals whose machines we sell to the pharmaceutical industry. and we came to know about Mr. Vinay Kumar Jain through one of the webinar. We were very impressed with his concept of recovery of money without going to the court in a shortest time with very little investment. We approached him, and then the process was seamless. It was online, and we exchanged mails. We had Zoom meetings, and they thoroughly understood our case. They drafted the notice for our principals, and the notice was sent. And within 10 days, we got our money, which was about 2 years old, immediately. And then there were other outstanding amounts which were as old as 1 year to 3 months. We were called for settlement from our principals, and we were able to recover our. We were able to reach a settlement amount, and everything was settled in less than 3 months' time. We very much thankful to Mr. Vinay Kumar Jain for his assistance.
So that was Rajan Khimsaria. Dues older than 1 month to 3 months to 1 to 2 years, they were able to close it all, recover it all within under 2 months time, right? That's the power. That's the difference it makes when you know these provisions and you're able to implement them well. So I'm getting few messages that how we can help you to recover your dues. So here is this inquiry form. We call it a 2 minutes inquiry form because it hardly takes 2 minutes for you to fill this. So if you need our assistance in recovery of your dues, then my request is that just fill this form, and you'll get all the details from our team, and then we'll have a call together. We'll speak like this one-on-one on that particular case. If you have any particular recovery where you think you're not unable to do and you need assistance, and then the team will tell you how we can assist you. Okay, so please fill this form if you need our assistance in recovery. Okay, fantastic. So that was the first method, MSMED Act 2006 escape provisions. And now we'll move to second method, second top secret, which is MSME Samadhan. Excuse me. So what is MSME Samadhan? MSME Samadhan is a delayed payment monitoring system which has been introduced by current Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji under the aegis of the MSME Ministry. Okay. And it is what it is. So it is a portal created by the Ministry of MSME where all the micro and small enterprises, they can file their applications online regarding delayed payment beyond 45 days. So irrespective of the fact that in which part of the country you are and where is your buyer located, you just, if you have a problem on delayed payment beyond 45 days, you just have to go to this portal, file it there, right? And it's a centralized portal. And what are the requirements for it? You need UDYAMITA memorandum, which is now British UDYAM. Okay. You need mobile number, Aadhaar number of your partner proprietor or your director, जो आपके पास होता है. You need buyer details, जो आपके पास होती है. You need work order, which you always have. If you don't have, then you can just give an affidavit that we don't have. And you need copies of the undisputed invoices. Okay. मतलब by undisputed, you mean there should not be any dispute that whether ये supply हुई कि नहीं हुई, कोई civil case pending वगैरह ना हो, जरूरी नहीं होता है. So if you have all of these, then you just have to go to this centralized portal and file your application. This is the link to that centralized portal. And if you have all of this information and details, then it is as easy as uploading a Facebook post. Believe me, it's as simple as that. If you want to take a screenshot of this portal, right? And as soon as you file it, a notice will be sent to your buyer within 15 days directly by the MSME Ministry that so-and-so company has filed so-and-so case for recovery of so-and-so amount from you, and why action should not be taken against you if you do not pay them within so-and-so days. Okay, and that acts as a lot of pressure. A lot of times the companies just pay immediately after that. And a status is also sent to your state's MSME council that so-and-so party from your state has filed so-and-so case, and then you'll have to go and do the physical filing with your state MSME council as per the respective rules. Okay. It's really very, very simple. You just have a 1 or 2 page form. You just have to fill it, and then you just have to take out printout of all the documents which you have uploaded online, and you just submit it. Okay, and within 90 days, they have to compulsorily resolve this whole issue. They have to compulsorily resolve this whole matter. They have to pass an order. That's the mandate of the act. But this generally doesn't happen. It's not happening of late, especially post-COVID, because as I said, MSME Council is still a part-time body. And post-COVID, thousands and lakhs of cases have been filed with them, and they have been burdened by those cases, and that's why there's a lot of delay which is happening. So in place of 90 days, they're taking generally 6 months or 9 months or 12 months. So we say that you take 12 months, you take 18 months. In fact, you take 24 months also. This is also good for us. Why? Because what's my alternate option? Going to civil court and arbitration. There, तो I know that nothing happens in even 5, 7, 10 years. Generations बीत जाती तब भी कुछ नहीं होता, वो ऐसे चलता 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 रहता है, right? But here, I know it's going to be, even if it is taking 12 months or 18 months or 24 months, I know that it's going to be happening. And especially because whenever the order is going to be coming, it's going to be compulsorily with compound interest till the date of payment at the rate of 3 times of the maximum notified by RBI. Not a penny more, not a penny less. They don't even have any power to reduce it. Whereas civil court and arbitrations, they don't even give interest. And even if they give it, hardly 4-5% simple interest. Right? And then appeal, if they have to file an appeal against the order, if I win it, they have to file an appeal, then 75% was mandatory. Without that, it cannot go. 75% deposit karna padega, and which if they do, it'll go to civil court. They lose it for after 4-5 years. They'll again have to pay interest, and that's why they want to settle immediately, right? And filing fees. So first of all, online filing is absolutely free. There is no cost whatsoever of this online filing. Okay, all over India. Physical filing is also free in most of the states. In some of the states, there is some charge. That's hardly like 500,000 to 2,000 rupees, which is irrespective of your claim amount. So even if your claim amount is 1 lakh, 500,000 rupees, even if it is 10 lakhs, 500,000 rupees, even if it is 1 crore, 500,000 rupees, even if it is 10 crores, 500,000 rupees. Whereas if you go to civil courts and arbitration, it's on percentage basis, the court fees. If it is 10 lakhs, then you have to pay 3-4%, 30-40,000 rupees. If it is 1 crore, you have to pay 3-4 lakh rupees. If it is 10 crores, you have to pay 30-40 lakh rupees. So that's like throwing good money after bad money. Even if you win, even if you lose, even if you recover, even if you don't recover, that money is not going to be coming back to you, right? So are you able to see that you can do the filing fully on your own by going on this portal at zero cost? 500,000 rupees is no cost against any company in the world, and without going to civil and criminal courts. So do you think I have fulfilled the promise which I made to you at start of the webinar, that you'll learn methods by which you'll be able to start recovering your dues at zero cost fully on your own against any company in your world and without going to civil criminal court? So please type PF for promise fulfilled. Please type PF for promise fulfilled if you think I've fulfilled my promise, which I made to you. Thank you so much. Amit ji, Dattaraj ji, Rahul, Manish ji, Swamit ji, Pradeep ji, Aman ji, Mahesh ji, Rahul ji. Thank you so much. Very, very delighted. Then there's this another very important concept where, because it's being introduced by current Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, तो उन्होंने एक PMO में एक dedicated team बैठा दी है जो सिर्फ एमएसएमई संबंध के केसेस को ट्रैक करती है. एंड जब भी किसी सेंट्रल पीएसयू अगेंस्ट कोई केस आता है, सो इमीडिएटली शो कॉज नोटिस इज सेंट टू दैट एमडी ऑफ दैट पीएसयू along with the cabinet secretary that why you have not paid to so and so MSME. And that's why standing instructions have been given across different PSUs, central PSUs, that if any case comes under MSME Samadhan and if it is delayed for some reason but not disputed, then just pay and close. Why? Do you think any MD would want to be answerable to PMO's office? No, right? That's the power of MSME Samadhan, right? Then, if you have received your principal but with a lot of delay, then you can file only for interest as well. You don't have to worry कि अब तो आ गया तो अब मैं कैसे फाइल करूं. आप सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट के लिए फाइल कर सकते हैं. Then, prior registration is not necessary. So अगर आपके पास आज उद्योग या उद्यम नहीं थे, तब जब आपकी इन्वॉइसेस थे, जब डी होगा और आज है, पर पहले आपके पास आईएम पार्ट 1 पार्ट 2 जो पुराने एमसी रजिस्ट्रेशन होते हैं वो है, तो सुपुर्द है, आप फाइल कर सकते हैं, राइट? एंड पर अगर आपके पास पहले कोई रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं था तो फिर आप नहीं फाइल कर सकते, फिर आप उद्योग के बाद ही फाइल कर पाएंगे. ओके. देन अगर आप एक एक्सपोर्टर हैं तो किसी फॉरेन बायर ने आपको नहीं किया है, तो एज पर FAQ 47 ऑफ दिस वेबसाइट आप उसके अगेंस्ट भी आप एमएसएमई जा सकते हैं. दे हैव गिवन द होल प्रोसेस कि कैसे वो ऑर्डर एग्जीक्यूट होगा, कैसे वो रिकवरी होगी. Yes, there was some network issue, so I got disconnected. Okay, so limitation doesn't even apply. तो आपके अगर 4 साल 5 साल पुराने केसेस हैं कि जिसमें कि ऑनलाइन फाइल कर सकते हैं और फिर उसके बाद आप फिजिकल फाइलिंग भी कर देंगे और उसके बाद फर्स्ट 3 हियरिंग्स जो होती है वो कंसिलिएशन हियरिंग्स होती है which are mandatory to be given by the council और उस पर कोई लिमिटेशन अप्लाई नहीं करता है। ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि कंसिलिएशन हियरिंग में सेटलमेंट नहीं होता तब वो आर्बिट्रेशन में जाएगा और वहां पर फिर लिमिटेशन एक्ट के प्रोविजंस अप्लाई करेंगे, राइट। बट वेयर सिविल कोर्ट आर्बिट्रेशन में क्या है, तो आप 3 साल से पुराने केसेस फाइल ही नहीं कर सकते, इट्स नॉट अलाउड एट ऑल। यहाँ पर एटलीस्ट फाइल तो कर सकते हैं। दैट्स द पावर ऑफ एमएसएमई समाधान, राइट। So I'm going to be showing you a few case studies here on the screen and let me give you a disclaimer कि हमारा इन केसेस से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, ये सारे ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है ऑर्डर्स और हम सिर्फ आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हाँ ये चलता है और ये ऐसा, बिकॉज काफी लोग के मन में सवाल होते हैं इतना सब बढ़िया लगता है ये टिकली कैसे इसमें डिस्प्यूट हो गया था पेमेंट का, करीबन 12.5 लाख पेंडिंग थे। सो व्हेन द रिकवरी केस वाज फाइल्ड बिफोर एमएसएमई समाधान तो मांगने गए थे 12.5 लाख एंड साथ में मिल गए इंटरेस्ट भी 22.5 लाख। सो मांगने गए थे 12.5 lakhs and total मिल गए 35 lakhs including interest. Okay. Then there was this case against a big listed company which was not doing very well financially. They have not paid around 10 crores to one of their vendors, and this vendor was not having any idea how to recover because the total cost of recovery with the civil court knowledge was more than coming 1 crore plus with all the court fees and all that. So he was not able to do anything because it was like throwing good money after bad money, and he didn't even that sort of money to recover. So, but when he got to know about MSME Samadhan, उसने immediately case file किया MSME Samadhan में, and this vendor they tried, this big company they tried every trick in the book कि case dismiss हो जाए, chairman बदल जाए या कुछ हो जाए, but nothing like that happened, and ultimately the order came in vendor's favor and the matter got settled. That's the power of MSME Samadhan. Then there was this case against the state government PSU who has issued a tender of 21 crores and out of which 180 lakhs for pending. So ये जो 1 करोड़ 80 लाख पेंडिंग थे इसके लिए जब एमएसएमई समाधान में फाइल किया गया, so not only the contractor got 180 lakhs but he also got the interest of 360 lakhs. So मांगने थे 1 करोड़ 80 लाख तो मिल गया टोटल 5 करोड़ 40 लाख including interest, right? अब what is the option with the central government PSU? So 3 options. Number 1, they paid this 5 crore 40 lakhs and close, right? But not possible. Why? Do you remember that clause which I told you that if interest is to be paid, then income tax benefit will be denied upon that interest amount. So 3 crore 60 lakh पे इनकम टैक्स आता है 1 crore 20 lakhs, वो भी डिनाई हो जाएगा। तो 540 plus 1 crore 20, 6 crore 40 lakhs देना पड़ जाएगा। Not an option. People will lose jobs, exit role. Not an option. So second option, that they file an appeal against this order of 5 crore 40 lakhs. But for that, do you remember that they have to deposit 75% of the amount with the civil court? So, and it goes on for 4-5 years, and we lose, they again have to pay interest on that 4-5 years. So 5 crores 40 lakhs से 75% is 4 crores. तो उससे अच्छे तो बोलेंगे कि यार थर्ड ऑप्शन सेटल कर लो कि 1 करोड़ 80 लाख पकड़ो और अपना काम करते हैं, आगे भी काम करते हैं. And something like this happened in this case also. The state government PSUs was supposed to brought down its knees and they settled. And that's the power of MSME Samadhan. So are you finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful? Please type P in the chat box. If you're finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful, please type P in the chat box. Are you finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful? Thank you so much. Somit ji, Mahesh ji, Amit ji, Datraj ji, Dasrati ji, Sandeep ji, Ravi ji, Arun ji, thank you Rahul ji, Shyam Sir ji, thank you so much, fantastic. And again मेरा वो पुराना सवाल, पर क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Please type yes अगर पता था and please type no अगर नहीं पता था. क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Please type yes. पता था? नहीं, no नहीं पता था. No, again a big no, Manish ji. So majorly no's. So what does that mean? So again, the problem is not कि delayed payment. The problem is कि किसी ने awareness नहीं दी आपको, किसी ने MSMEs को बताया, MSME Act नहीं पता, राइटली इंप्लीमेंट करना है वो नहीं पता. जैसे लोगों को ये नहीं पता कि ऑनलाइन के साथ ऑफलाइन फाइलिंग भी है, इसलिए वो सिर्फ ऑनलाइन करके छोड़ देते हैं, वो केस अपने आप टेक्निकल नोट पे रिजेक्ट हो जाता है. थोड़ा पेशेंस ही रहता है, थोड़ा सा फॉलो अप करना पड़ता है. इट डजंट हैपन ओवरनाइट. पीपल थिंक कि बस मैं फाइल किया और 2 हफ्ते में 3 हफ्ते में रिकवरी आ जाए. इट डजंट हैपन लाइक दैट, राइट? डिस्पाइट दिस, the success rate of MSME समाधान is very very high encouraging. मैं वो कुछ फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स एंड डेटा दिखाने वाला हूँ. ये सारा गवर्नमेंट की वेबसाइट से लिया हुआ डेटा है MSME समाधान का. So till date, today more than 93,000 applications have been filed by the micro small enterprises with the MSME समाधान. for recovery of whooping 25,000 crores rupees. सोचिए 25,000 करोड़ की रिकवरी के लोगों ने फाइल कर दिया and people still don't know about it. सोचिए, out of the 70,000 applications, almost 25,000 cases are currently under consideration by the MSME Council. इस पे hearing चल रही है, it's pending. 31,000 are yet to be viewed by the council. मतलब they not even touched it. अभी कुछ हुआ भी नहीं, इसमें फाइलिंग करके रखे हुए. 25 plus 31 is like that means 56,000 applications are pending, right? So 93 minus 56 is how much? So please excuse me for maths because in 7th standard I got supplementary, 9th I somehow got promoted, in 11th I failed every internal exam, important questions like final pass work, and in 12th I was blank for the first 45 minutes of maths paper. So please excuse me for my maths. So 93 minus 56 is how much? 36,000 applications ऐसी है जो भी जिस पे फाइलिंग हुई है, कुछ हुआ है मतलब, right? Out of that 36,000 applications, 18,000 applications have been rejected by the council. मतलब टेक्निकल नोट्स पे रिजेक्ट हो गए, ऑनलाइन किया, ऑफलाइन नहीं किया, इनवॉइस नहीं दिया, वर्क ऑर्डर नहीं दिया, या गलत भर दिया, हियरिंग पे नहीं आया, सिस्टम ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, राइट? सो 36 में से 18 गया, 18 बचे, मतलब 18,000 ऐसी है जिसपे फाइलिंग हुई, कुछ हुआ है. Out of that 18,000 applications, 9,000 have been disposed of by the council. मतलब win, lose, yes, no, कुछ तो हुआ है, क्या हुआ है हमको नहीं पता, कुछ तो हुआ है. बची कितनी? 9,000. Those 9,000 applications have been mutually settled between the parties. That means what? What's my settlement ratio? It's more than 50%. If I know this and I'm doing it right, that's the power of MSME Samadhan. I'm not aware about any other forum or provision in the country which gives you a more than 50% settlement ratio chance. That's the power of MSME Samadhan. Right? So I'll just do again a quick sharing of one Mr. Ravi Kapoor ji. He's again an MSME business owner like you all. They came to us and they also wanted to go to civil court and all for recovery, but when we guided them towards MSME Samadhan, so they were really happy and glad about it, and they got to know about the difference that these remedies have vis-a-vis civil courts. So let's listen to him, what he has to say. Mr. Ravi Kapoor, he's from Absolute Security Agency from Delhi, NCR. Let's listen to him.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Ravi Kapoor, Managing Director of Absolute Security and Facility Management Private Limited. I am recording this short video to just give a testimonial to services that I utilize of Vinay. Recently, there was a client of ours who was not paying us for almost 2 years. We kept fighting him in the civil court, but with very little results. As soon as I sent the notices under MSME Act, as guided by Vinay and his team, he quickly responded, and within about a month and a half, he quickly came to a table and gave me my about 2.5 lakh rupees that were due to me. I must thank Vinay and his team for doing an amazing job. Most importantly, guiding me towards using MSME rather than running around in the civil court, which could have taken, how long a time. Great job. Best of lucks. I hope you do even better.
So they understood.
Thanks. Bye.
They realized that rather than going to civil courts and running around for years and years, this is a much, much better option. And if they can do it, you can also do it. So I'm how we can free of your dues. This inquiry form chat box. Assistance, then please just inquiry form. We call it 2 minutes. It takes 2 minutes. And then our team will reach out to you and they'll help you. Second method. Now let's move to the third secret method, which is insolvency and bankruptcy court. And I call mother of all provisions. For instance, I'm sure you found MSME Act to be very useful. MSME is a powerful method, in my opinion. One reason is service product manufacturer, whomsoever you are, it applies to everybody if you're satisfying the conditions therein. और आपने इसके बारे में सुन भी रखा होगा, इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी कोर्ट के बारे में न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़ रखा होगा. आपको लगता होगा ये तो किसी बड़े लोगों के लिए है, बड़ी बैंक्स के लिए, हमारे केस में ऐसा नहीं है. It has something for everybody if you're satisfying the conditions given there. Okay, so let's see what it is. So अगर आपका बायर जो है वो एक कॉर्पोरेट है, मतलब वो एक पब्लिक लिमिट 1 लाख, अब ये लिमिट बढ़कर 1 करोड़ हो गई है 24/15/20 के बाद. So then you being the supplier, you become an operational creditor. and you can send a notice to pay them within 10 days. उनको आप एक notice भेज सकते हैं to pay in 10 days. Else, you being the supplier, you can file a petition for insolvency of the buyer. So far so good, विनय जी. Recovery कैसे होगी? So अगर आपके पास invoice है और acceptance है, invoice तो होता ही, acceptance मतलब कोई dispute नहीं, कोई civil case pending नहीं, कि supply हुई कि नहीं हुई, right? और आपने notice भेज दिया है, ये monetary limits आपकी satisfy हो रही है, और फिर भी उसने pay नहीं किया, तो फिर आप NCLT में petition file कर देंगे insolvency की, right? So far so good, विनय जी. रिकवरी कैसे होगी? तो जब हो रही है तो एनसीएलटी के पास और कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है बट टू एडमिट योर पिटिशन, और जैसे एनसीएलटी को एडमिट करेगी इमीडिएटली आरपी विल बी अपॉइंटेड, अ रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल विल बी अपॉइंटेड ऑन द बोर्ड ऑफ योर बायर. सो फॉर सो गुड, रिकवरी कैसे होगी ये बताओ यार. सो जैसे ही एक रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल आरपी अपॉइंट होता है आपके बायर की कंपनी में, इमीडिएटली all powers of the board of directors are withdrawn. In fact, the board of directors stands suspended. They cannot sign checks, they cannot hire somebody, they cannot fire somebody, they cannot issue a sales order, they cannot accept a purchase order. Zero management power. बोर्ड को बाहर भेज दिया जाता है. ये आरपी होता है, वो कंपनी का पूरा कंट्रोल ले लेता है. He runs the company temporarily and then he makes a resolution scheme, finds a bidder for buyer for the company and he gets approved by the NCLT, और फिर वो उस कंपनी को बेच देता है, right? That's why the big corporates and the PSUs, they take this very very seriously. So there was this case जिसमें कि ये भेल नवरत्न लिस्टेड PSU है जिसने कि 15-16 लाख रुपए अपने कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को दे दिए थे. He was made to run from pillar to post for 4-5 months, but when he got to know about this provision, he immediately issued a notice under this to the to Bhel, and within 15 days he got the money in his bank account. Why? Can you imagine a Navratna listed PSU like Bhel? Can they even afford to lose control even for one day? No, right? People will lose their jobs. No. Do you think can anyone afford to lose control of their company? Whether you or anybody of your buyers, when they know that the due is genuine, please type no in the chat box if you think that nobody can afford to lose control of their company. Please type no in the chat box if you think that nobody can afford to lose control of their company. No, right? Absolutely, it's a no-brainer. I hope my voice is coming clear now. I think others are able to listen to me, and that's why I call this super duper powerful method. Nobody can, because nobody can afford to lose control of their company. So it's only me now who finds this to be super duper powerful, or are you also finding it to be super duper powerful? Please type SD in the chat box. Please type SD in the chat box if you're also finding it to be super duper powerful. Okay, just thank you so much. मनीष जी, महेश जी, दत्तराज जी, अरुण जी, प्रदीप जी, राहुल जी, संदीप जी, वैदवी जी. And again my old question, पता था? Please type yes अगर पता था, please type no अगर नहीं पता. क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? अगर पता था please type no अगर नहीं पता. Big no. So again, the problem is not कि delayed payment है. The problem is कि सीधे बताया नहीं कि ये प्रोविजन से इसको यूज करके यू कैन रिकवर, और पता भी है तो ये नहीं पता कि इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे करना है. और जो लिमिट है ये 1 लाख से बढ़कर 1 करोड़ हो गई है. 2020 के बाद जब कोविड आया तो ऑनरेबल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर निर्मला सीतारमण जी ने एनसीएलटी में केसेस बहुत ज्यादा ना आ जाए, दे मस्ट नॉट गेट बर्डेड, तो इसलिए ये लिमिट 1 करोड़ कर दी, व्हिच होपफुली विल कम बैक टू अगेन 1 लाख और 5 लाख व्हेन थिंग्स गेट बैक टू नॉर्मल, राइट. पर ये लिमिट जो है इन आवर ओपिनियन जो 24/5/2020 के पहले की है उनकी लिमिट अभी भी 1 लाख ही रहेगी, राइट. Despite this, the success of IBC code is very very high and encouraging. The Justice retired M. Kumar Sabe, जो NCLT की first president in May 2020, in an interview of IBC code, ranking in ease of doing business has increased from 142nd to 63rd position. मतलब 1947 आजादी से लेकर 2016 तक इंडिया की रैंकिंग was 142nd all over world in ease of doing business. And from 2016 to 2020, just in 4 years, India's ranking jumped from 142nd to 63rd position. 80 steps jump ho gaye. To invest in countries where their capital is protected, and IBC is that law. And if IBC is and if their capital is protected, then your delayed payment is what? Your capital, that's also protected. That's the power of IBC. Further, the NPs of the banks, they've gone down from 12 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores just in 4 years. That's the power of IBC, right? I'll do this quick sharing of one Mr. Vinod Karwaji. He's owner of, he's an MSME business owner of Victor Agencies, NCR, Faridabad region. He's also co-chairman of MSME Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce, India's oldest institution of commerce. So we also got a chance to help him in recovery of their dues. So let's listen to him, that how it worked out for them, so that you can understand if it works for them, it will work for you also. Mr. Vinod Karma.
Mr. Vinay has full knowledge of due recovery procedure for MSME with all the update changes made by government time to time, which is usually not in knowledge of MSME sector. He is doing a phenomenal job by conducting seminars, presentation with different associations to update MSME. A great initiative needed by this stressed sector. Would also say that his company VKG Law Office is giving prompt service to their clients at an affordable price.
So that was Mr. Vinod Karwaji, and we'll just share this from Mr. Ganesh Agarwal. He's also an MSME business owner, how we helped them in recovery of their dues. Mr. Ganesh Agarwal. He's from Raipur, Central India.
Hi, Ganesh Kumar Agrawal. Would like to thank Mr. Vinay Jain and complete team of VKJ for assuring the recovery of my debt in such a smooth way. The documentation process was done in very few steps and followed by his team was just outstanding. The process of recovery was done as per their words and it was beyond my expectation. I wish the complete team of VKJ all the very best for the future profession, and a special thanks to Mr. Vinay Jain. Thank you.
So that was Mr. Ganesh Agarwal. So I'm again getting few messages that how we can help you in recovery of your dues. So here's this again in the chat box. If you need our assistance in recovery, please just fill up this inquiry form. It will take 2 minutes and we'll get the details and our team will reach out to you and tell you how we can help you. So we have seen the top thing. Knowledge important? It's actually the applied knowledge which is more important because that's what brings results, right? हमको ज्ञान देखिए ज्ञान ही नहीं बनना है, हमको तो recovery करनी है, right? So do you think knowledge is important or do you think applied knowledge is more important? So please type A for applied knowledge if you think that it's the applied knowledge which is more important. Please type A for applied knowledge if you think it's the applied knowledge which is more important, and just not the knowledge, right? Thank you so much. You don't miss on it, and that's it. Up for at least for the next 20 minutes only. Just be with me so that I am able to tell you that how you can apply this and start it. Okay, so what are those best practices? What do you need to do now to ensure timely recovery, whether from a large corporate or large PSU or private player? So go back, check all your pending dues for at least 3 to 5 years and unko nikaliye, and start sending notices as per MSMED Act and IBC code. उन पे आप notices भेजना. Small enterprise issue file under MSME समाधान, उसमें आप immediately file करिए. Chances are you may start recovering. If you're doing it right, you'll start recovering your dues immediately and gradually. Okay. जो माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज है, you should also change your payment terms to 40 days जो हमने MSMED Act के प्रोविजंस देखे हैं, प्लस कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट भी इंक्लूड कर लीजिए, प्लस डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस भी इंक्लूड कर लीजिए अपने क्लॉजेस में, इनवॉइसेस और एग्रीमेंट्स में. जो मीडियम एंटरप्राइज है, ट्रेडर्स है, जिनके लिए MSMED Act एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, तो यू कैन लुक इनटू प्रोविजंस ऑफ द IBC कोड and start sending demand notices to opposite parties जो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है या लिमिटेड कंपनीज है, LLPs है. And okay, जो लीगल नोटिस आप भेजो, प्लीज एंश्योर दैट यू सेंडिंग इट आउट, मेकिंग आउट ऑफ प्रॉपर केस, सो दैट कोई डिलीगल एक्सेस ना हो. And जो भी filing आप करो, please ensure that all the documents information is filed accurately. That's very very important, because as we saw, 18,000 applications they got rejected just because they were not filed correctly. If you want, you can take a screenshot, but after we will give you with free money recovery resources at the end as well. Okay. So, but having said that, we have seen that MSMEs across the country, they face few challenges in implementing these steps. Okay. So first of all, lack of legal knowledge. अभी आप मेरे साथ हैं तो आप समझ पा रहे हैं कि क्या कैसे होगा, तो you are immediately able to take it, right? But जब आप खुद करते हैं तो confusion आ जाता है. टाइमली एक्शन, इतना टाइम नहीं होता कि यार तुरंत एक्शन ले सके, इतना टाइम नहीं होता कि क्या एक्चुअल रेमेडीज है जो अप्लाई करेगी उसको लगाए और इंप्लीमेंट कर सके, इतना टाइम लीगल टीम नहीं होती है, लीगल स्किल की कमी होती है, जिसकी वजह से बहुत सारी मिस्टेक्स होती है ड्राफ्टिंग फाइलिंग में. और ये मिस्टेक्स इसलिए भी होती है क्योंकि हमारा बहुत सारा डिपेंडेंस हमारी नॉन लीगल टीम पे होता है, हमारे अकाउंटेंट पे, सेक्रेटरी पे, मार्केटिंग पे, सेल्स पे, एंड इस वजह से मिस्टेक्स होती है, मिस्टेक्स वजह से डिले होते हैं, राइट? एंड एज दिस से जस्टिस डिलेड इज जस्टिस डिनाइड. So how many of you think that you face this problem or you will face any of these or these problems? Please type P for problems in the chat box. Please type P for problem in the chat box if you think that you face these problems or you will face any of these problems in future. Please type P for problems in the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Manish ji, Mahesh ji, Kalpesh ji, Chaya ji. Absolutely correct. So it's not with you, but it's the scene with the whole country. All the MSMEs of India, they face this problem one at a time, and that's why it has become India's biggest pain point today. And one of the big reasons for that is lack of knowledge, lack of inability to fight out, especially with bigger clients. ये एक बहुत बड़ा आप पर इम्पैक्ट क्या आ रहा है? डेली यू आर फेसिंग दिस कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम्स, वर्किंग कैपिटल. उस चक्कर में अब पैसा तो चाहिए आपको, तो आप लोन लिमिट, सीसी लिमिट्स लेके रखते हैं. बैंक्स ने भी एक सिंडिकेट बना रही है, 90 डेज के ऊपर के रिसीवेबल्स को ड्राइंग पावर में कंसीडर नहीं करते हैं. इस चक्कर में आपको अपना करना पड़ता है, घर मॉर्गेज करना, सारा फोकस आपका जो रहता है वो अनप्रोडक्टिव वर्क पे रहता है. And your health and family life, it also goes for a toss, and the list goes on and on and on. Okay, so to this, क्या आपको लग रहा है कि ये तो आपकी स्टोरी चल रही है? Are you able to see? This is your story. Are you able to relate to this? Please type box if you think that this is your story which is being played. Please type S for story. Yes. ये आप और हमें नहीं कह रहे, ये आरबीआई भी कह रही है. तो आगे 2014-15 में एक प्रेस नोट निकाला था कि MSME sector faces the problem of delayed payment mainly due to dependency on their buyers within corporate and other sectors including governments. They are often unable to take up the problem of delayed payment for appropriate institutional the purpose. 2014-15 में आरबीआई को समझ में आ गया था कि प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज्यादा है. और उसके बाद 2019 प्री कोविड आरबीआई ने एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनाया ऑन MSME 25, और जिसने एक रिपोर्ट दी 25 जून 2019 को टू फाइंड अ सॉल्यूशन फॉर दिस प्रॉब्लम. तो उस एक्सपर्ट कमेटी ने बोला कि बायर्स टेंड टू यूज MSMEs एंड अल्टरनेटिव बैंक्स. मतलब आपके बायर आपको बैंक की तरह यूज करते हैं, आपके पैसे धंधा करते हैं और आप बैंक के पैसे इंटरेस्ट देके धंधा करते हो. उस एक्सपर्ट कमेटी ने आगे बोला कि आपकी पेमेंट को डिले करने के लिए डिस्काउंट देते हैं पर कैश पेमेंट नहीं करते. उस कमेटी ने ये भी बोला कि इतने रिगरस प्रोविजन होने के बाद भी माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज को प्रॉब्लम होती है बिकॉज ऑफ लो बार्गेनिंग पावर, नॉट ओनली फ्रॉम कॉर्पोरेट्स बट आल्सो फ्रॉम PSUs, गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज एंड ऑल. और इसे सिर्फ सेंट्रल स्टेट कोई भी हो या PSUs या corporates हो, everybody from every sort of PSUs they have this problem. The corporates और इससे उनका working capital effect होता है जो ultimately operational efficiency effect करता है. And post COVID तो we all know it has gone from bad to worse. So इसलिए जो MSMEs हैं क्योंकि उनको huge money just in going to civil court and arbitration for recovery, और 5 साल 10 साल वो केसेस, जैसे कि अगर 10 लाख तक के ड्यूज है तो सिविल कोर्ट आर्बिट्रेशन में मिनिमम 1 लाख तो उनको हो जाता है, 50 लाख तक का है तो 2.5 लाख लग जाता है, 1 करोड़ तक का है तो 5 लाख लग जाता है, 2 करोड़ तक का है तो 10 लाख लग जाता है, 5 करोड़ तक का है तो 20 लाख लग जाता है, 10 करोड़ तक का है तो 35 लाख लग जाता है. एंड वी ऑल नो कोविड के बाद इट हैज गॉन वर्स. So ET का एक रिपोर्ट था मई 2021 का कि 59% of MSMEs में shut shop or sell off or scale down, and हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने बोला लोकसभा में, ऑनरेबल फ्रांस एमएसएमई मिनिस्टर नारायण राणे जी ने बोला रिटर्न में लोकसभा में कि अबाउट 9% एमएसएमईज दे गॉट शट डाउन एंड देयर 6.5 crores एमएसएमईज इन इंडिया. थिंक अबाउट इट. और उन्होंने आगे बोला मिनिस्टर साहब ने राइटिंग में कि एज पर नेशनल क्राइम रिकॉर्ड्स ब्यूरो टोटल ऑफ 9,050 businesses committed suicide in 19 while the number increased to 11,716 in 2020. MSME Minister Naراयण Rane. So people, government, media used to talk about suicide of farmers, and now they're talking about suicide of business owners. That's the extent of this problem. So do you think today's knowledge is useful for you to solve this problem? Having said that, जो भी है वो, पर क्या आपको इतना बिलीफ तो आ गया है कि हाँ भाई ये नॉलेज से ये प्रॉब्लम हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, और थोड़ा सा और आपको एक्सपर्टाइज नॉलेज मिल जाए तो आप डेफिनेटली इसको सॉल्व कर पाएंगे? इतना बिलीफ सिस्टम आ गया आपके में? So do you want to know how you can recover your dues? Okay, so here is our 2 minutes inquiry form. हमने पहले भी डाला है. So if you need our assistance in recovery of your dues, so you can just fill up this 2 minutes inquiry form. या आप फोन पे भी बात कर सकते हैं, तो आपको ये फॉर्म आ जाएगा, right? And once you fill up this form, so our team will reach out to you and they'll tell you how we can recover your dues, and we'll take it forward from there. Okay, like so I'll just quickly show you how do we work, how does our debt recovery services work. जो आपकी फॉर्म बनेंगे तो आप India's first company in the debt recovery service company जिसने की complete state of the art project किया है, implement किया है. So this is the Google Suite from which all the work completely online. सारा कुछ हमारा virtual है because we don't want our clients to unnecessarily visit our offices or spend money and time. So all the work happens virtually, only and only virtual. So इस Google Suite पे हमारा सारा का सारा काम same है, centralized. All our checklist, work notices, format, it has everything, as you can see here. And whenever our client needs assistance, उनको ये simple ये claim form चला जाता है, which is the Google form. और आप जैसे ये it's a very exhaustive form but very simple to fill. इसमें सारी details होती है. So rather than coming and running to our offices and coming again, आपको एक बार भी नहीं आना है. आप जैसे ये फॉर्म भरते हैं, सारा कुछ देते हैं, तो इमीडिएटली हमारे पास सब कुछ एक समरी की तरह आ जाता है. Just in 2 pages we get everything, right? With all the documents and information. Immediately the work gets started. और वो हमारे PMS systems में चला जाता है, of which OMS is the first part. FMS is the first part, जिसमें कि एक dedicated CRM आपके लिए point हो जाती है. She is your single point of contact, and it's clearly defined herein कि what has to be done, who will do it, how will it be done, when will it be done. वो dedicated CRM आपके साथ सारे documentation को complete करती है, और वहां से फिर हमारी expert team को वो matter चला जाता है. From where they take over, the OMS starts. And then in the OMS, again we have defined clearly what has to be done, who will do it, how will it be done, when will it be done. और काम start होता है, and then जो हमारी team है, they start sending the notices, IBC notice, NCLT petitions, and then MSME notices, then hearings, and then MSME online filing, offline filing. Box number 41, 42, there are more than 80 steps which goes in the life cycle of a matter. Then MSME online filing, offline filing, all of these steps are taken to ensure the recovery, and you have a dedicated team of take care of all these processes, right? And there's a complete division of labor which is there, that who's gonna be doing what work at what point of time. So that there is a complete, and then we have because time is asset for every team member, they have what work are they going to be doing it, what point of time gets missed. At any fill up this Against from a lot of feedback that whenever they had gone to any previous company, then matters. So we made this specific tracker every month. Once an automatic update is sent to you, that's so and so work has happened on your will be happening. And of course, 24/7 from us. Plus, there is this every morning, all our employees gets on their email that on which pattern they have to work, other steps, and how many years it's going to be taking. Because there are more than 80 steps in every matter. So how do it works automatically? They get the systems and the importance of this. All this work needs to be done. And this we have made this component calculations. If you don't calculate the right, so but it's very good because bank rate they change every 2 to 3 months. Have the exact bank rates, and this sheet where you just have to enter the amount, the due date and amount. What's going to suppose if you had to be recovered. My voice is not clear.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm just marking this green. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose if you have to recover 2 crores and it was to be recovered from 1st of January 2018. Okay. So you put today's date. And you put all these details, as you can see, immediately. Oh, let me just close this. So immediately the system will send on 2 crores, 35 lakhs is your compound interest, and total compound interest plus principal is 4 crores 35 lakhs. And when you send this sort of demand to your opposite party, they वो हिल जाते हैं because उनको लगता है now when they see that as per the law passed by Parliament of India 35 lakh हो गया है, they immediately come running and close off, right? For a compound interest. So I have told this before, these systems, we have held more than 3,000 business owners and we are handling more than 24 recovery cases for across. Our clients are spread over across and we are in more than 27 different industries spread over. We are processing claims of business dues across for defaulting customers across 24 states. Okay. So I'll just share this recovery. This again, quick testimonial from existing client, Mr. Salish Panchal. How we helped in recovery using these systems. जो मैंने आपको भी दिखा है. He's from Bombay and they have a listed pharma company and they had crores to be recovered from a major listed pharma company, which they were not able to recover. So how we helped them in recovery of debtors. Let's listen to him, Mr. Salish Panchal.
At the outset, I would like to thank the whole VKJ team for making debt recovery system so smooth and seamless. It was well coordinated from VKJ team. The required of documentation was so rightly performed that the recovery was certain at the beginning. I want to give special congratulations to Mr. Jain for his very professional guidance to his team. Normally, debt recovery is very cumbersome and very time-consuming job, but the team VKJ has made it so simple and peaceful. And I would like to recommend other SMEs to contact VKJ team for recovery cases, as you will have assured result in your favor. Thank you.
So that was the Salish Panchal. So again, if you need data assistance, then here is a 2 minutes inquiry form. आप इस form को भर दीजिए and our team will reach out to you. How we can help you in recovery, okay? So that's our facility, that's our team, that's from where all the work happens. So fantastic. With that, we have come to the end of the webinar, and I hope it has been useful for you. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate and your presence for making this a huge success. And thank you, UDYAMITA team. Thank you, Richard Ji, for all your help and support. And thank you, Nikita, from my team for all your help and support. I'll sign up and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Sir, for joining us. Thank you so much.